Aggregate planning is easiest to conduct in a table format. So anytime you have aggregate planning information, like, there's a forecast and maybe some production and how much is in inventory, take the time to draw up a table. I highly recommend it. That's the case with this particular problem here. Let's look. Maynard Associates has 62 units of some certain product on hand currently. So already we have this information about inventory. The demand forecast for the next 2 planning periods is 25 each period. So we've got forecast information. They have no plans for production this first period, but 120 the next period. And then there's a question based on all of this information, how much of this item would be in stock at the end of period 1? You could probably figure it out in your head. I like creating tables. It helps me stay organized. All right, now aggregate planning tables, the columns are the time periods. Notice that there was only 2 planning periods mentioned, so I'm just going to call them period 1 and period 2. Okay, fine. Now, aggregate planning tables, logically, their first row is the forecast. What is it that we need to meet? The second row is generally production. Okay, well, what will we do to meet the forecast? And then there's the resulting issue of the inventory. And I wrote E inventory. I like to work in ending inventory. All right, now these are columns. These are rows. Forecast, production, ending inventory. Oh, and speaking of ending inventory, if you're setting up some information concerning an aggregate plan as a table, remember that it's helpful to have a strange little box, one extra box to the left of the first planning period on the inventory line. What's that for? Just to house the fact that maybe we have some of this stuff right now, and so we're starting with that inventory. Okay, the rest of it begins in period 1. Now, also what this is it's a framework to just organize these numbers. Okay, each of these numbers should have a spot here. Maynard Associates has 62 units of some certain product on hand currently. That's where the goes in the strange little box to the left of the first planning period. They're telling us that they have 62 of this, whatever it is right now. Okay, so that's where we're going to store that fact. The demand forecast for the next 2 planning periods, period 1, period 2, is 25 units each period, so that number goes here. Maynard Associates has no plans for production of this product in the first planning period, so nothing goes here, but do plan to build 120 in the second period, so that goes there. How much of this item would be in stock at the end of period 1? Oh, it's just inviting us to complete the analysis. What would be the ending inventory? Okay, so for that, essentially, we need inventory logic. And remember inventory logic. Ending inventory equals beginning inventory, what you started with, plus production in that period, what you made, minus demand, what you used. It's just logic. What you have at the end of a period is what you started with, plus any more that you got, minus anything that you used or you shipped. Oh, all right, so for the first period, what did you start with? That's that 62. We're starting the plan with 62. What did you add? Nothing, deliberately. That was their choice. What did you use up or ship out? 25 minus 25, or 62 minus 25. The ending inventory for period 1 is logically 37. Now, that's the answer to the problem. I'm tempted, just because this is my table, to finish the table. What's the ending inventory for period 2? All right, well, the ending inventory for period 2, just practice inventory logic again, is 37. The beginning inventory, or the ending inventory of the period before, you start with 37 this period. You add another 120, so 120 plus 37, minus you ship out 25. You should end with 132. Now, for this problem, the answer, it was just asking about the item in stock at the end of period 1. The answer here is 37. But if you look at the next problem at the back of the chapter, this looks awfully familiar. Maynard Associates has 62 units in stock. Wait a minute, that's that right there, right? The demand forecast for the next 2 planning periods is 25 each period. That's that right there. They have no plans for production this first period. That's a blank. Yeah, this is the same situation. And they plan to build 120. That's there. How much of this item would be in stock at the end of period 2? Oh, well, I didn't need to do that work for this problem, the first one, but that 132 comes in handy because that's actually the answer to the next question, right? Again, it's 37, the beginning inventory, plus that 120 of production minus 25 equals that 132. You would end the second period with 132. Beginning plus production minus demand. Oh, now, speaking of that, look at the next problem. We got these 2 problems done in short order. The problem after that, Maynard Associates has 60, wait a minute, this is the same situation. They have 62 units in stock now. They have that demand forecast of 25. Well, it's so small, I might as well just copy the whole thing over again. Although we've been there and done that in the previous 2 problems. Forecast, production, guess it's good practice just drawing up these tables. Ending inventory, there is a first period and a second period because the columns are the periods. This row's the forecast, this row's production, this row is ending inventory. Oh, so this row, I do finish it out with, there's that box to store the 62 that we start with. We've seen all this before in the previous 2 problems. Store the forecast up here. Store their production plan here, which is just 120 this period. Right, and we already determined that means they're going to end with 37 in inventory the first period and 132 the second period. This is the whole same situation. There must be some different question though. What is the average inventory during period 1? Okay, exact same situation but a different question about that situation. I do need to remember to answer that question that average inventory, you're talking about like some certain period, is the average of the beginning inventory, that period, and the ending inventory. So to calculate a fact like that, what you would want to do is add the beginning inventory, that period, to the ending inventory and divide it by 2. That's what you're actually averaging in average inventory. Oh, so they're asking about period 1, so that's this one right here, right? I just need the beginning and the ending inventory for period 1. Well, the ending inventory, we had determined that previously. That was 37, right? So I just need the beginning inventory for period 1. Oh, in order to discover the beginning inventory for period 1, we remember that the beginning inventory for any time period equals the ending inventory of the time period before. What you end with 1 week is what you start the next week with. So in the case of period 1, I just want to back up, and that's where I back up into that strange little on-hand inventory right now box. Oh, since we're talking about the first period, what they began with was that fact that they currently have 62 on hand. Those are the 2 numbers that I'm averaging. That one and that one yields, what's that yield? 49.5. The average inventory for period 1 is 49.5 units.